Hey guys, this video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to do a raw review of what it's been like on Shopify so far. I have been working with Shopify for 3 months now. So there are good things and there are bad things. One of the good things is when you start off with Shopify, they give you this great deal where you're paying $1 per month for the first 3 months. And that is extremely important because it takes a lot of effort to get started, and you're going to be putting money in investments in other places. So it is really helpful to get that jump start with Shopify. What I believe to be unfortunate and rather deceiving is the way that Shopify advertises what it's like to be with them. The way that I understand it is they say you can set up your shop in 5 minutes flat and you put up your product and you're going to start getting sales right away. Well, everything takes a lot of effort. I tried to set up my account, and within the first 3 days of me setting up my account and trying to get my website up and going, I got hacked. Now, this has nothing to do with Shopify at all. This is just my experience. Not hacked necessarily, that's the wrong word. I got scammed. So something that you need to look out for when you get started is people who will impersonate Shopify personnel. So I got this urgent message, and you know how hackers work and how scammers work. They just thrive off of urgency. Well, I got this urgent message saying that I was out of compliance with Shopify, and if I didn't get a seller's permit, they were going to shut down my store within the next 4 hours. So, of course, I panicked. And I clicked on the link and I got in touch with somebody, and I was trying to describe that this is, my first time. I have no idea what I'm doing. I was not in any way intentionally trying to be out of compliance with Shopify. And of course, I received a solution. And so the solution was at first a $250 seller's permit. Now, some information that you need to know is that you don't need this seller's permit to sell on Shopify. This is a completely extra, unnecessary thing that you don't need, but I didn't recognize that at the time. So days and days go by, and there's more and more things that I need to have in order to keep my Shopify account open and available. And I gave this scammer access to my store, and he kept unlinking things from the store. So there are a lot of different things that are involved, and it's kind of hard to explain, but there's the email automation, and there is all of the different markets like Amazon, Etsy, those sort of things that you can link to your store. There is the currency differences that you can click on to say, oh, I'm going to sell here, or I'm just going to sell in the US, or you can pick whatever country that you want to specialize in, or you can pick worldwide. But you need to make that decision and link it to your store. And he went in there and kept manipulating things and unlinked everything and messed it all up, so that if I were in a situation where somebody were to try to purchase from my store, it would essentially cripple me as a merchant because the transaction wouldn't go through. And therefore, my customer base would lose faith and trust in me because of the faulty system that had been screwed up, and they can't purchase from me. Now, thankfully, I was able to catch all of this with the help of someone who actually does work with Shopify. They came alongside me and was able to show me that this person was a scammer, and to give me some very helpful advice on what to look out for so that this doesn't happen again. I am so grateful for him, and he's been such a huge help. So anyway, that's another one of the negatives. It has nothing to do with Shopify. I don't blame Shopify at all. I am overall happy with my Shopify experience. It's hard to explain how I feel about this. I have not made many sales, but it has nothing to do with them. So there is another part of this, and that is, if you get involved with TikTok for marketing purposes, you're going to get inundated and absolutely a barrage of messages from people who are going to be claimed to be experts, or they're going to be store owners who are going to tell you all of this stuff about what you're doing wrong and what you need to do better. And the best way, of course, to do that is to go by their reference. And if you don't go by their reference, then it doesn't matter. I personally don't trust anybody who's coming to me from TikTok. Shopify has their own people that you can go to through them, and they've been completely vetted. They have good reviews, they're solid, and if you go into the business with Shopify, I would recommend going to their partners. Don't listen to anybody who emails you. Don't listen to anybody who's commenting on your social media posts, especially TikTok. Just go to the partners who work specifically with Shopify. That is my advice. The comments do not stop. It's been a constant issue for me. And another issue that comes along with that issue is that there are so many people who have told me, oh, I'm making $5,000 a week in sales, or I'm making $18,000 to $20,000 in sales a month, and this is what I did. But there's really no proof that that's actually true. They can just be pulling that out of wherever in order to get you to be convinced that their partner is the one to choose. But it all comes down to money for them. They get some sort of commission off of giving their partner as a reference. So if you want to work with people who have been vetted by Shopify, or work with people who really, really believe in your mission in all of this. That has been my experience so far. It's been really, really frustrating and disheartening to have been put so much investment in this and to have only received 2 sales so far. But I went into it not recognizing how much I had to have in a budget to get started. So the way Shopify advertises it is that you just get started for free basically, and you'll just start making sales. They say that it's super easy, but you really need to start with, I would say, roughly $5,000 to be on the safe side. If you want to be able to pay for SEO, which is search engine optimization, you're gonna need to pay for somebody to set up your website for you, and of course, marketing. Oh gosh, I feel like I've paid for so many different things, but I lost almost $900 with this scammer, and I was able to get $650 back. So we went through a company called Remitly. No issues with Remitly at all. I think it's a great system. It's a currency transfer system. So you send your currency and then they transfer it to the other currency for you, and then whoever's in the other country with the other currency receives the amount that you sent in US dollars to their currency. It's great. The thing that made it possible for me to get my money back is because they work through banks. So I was able to call them and explain what happened, and I had the bank information that they went through. So they were able to contact the two banks that this money went through, and I was able to close out the accounts through that. But it's not always that easy. Now, the rest of the money that I lost was through Fiverr, and I also love Fiverr. I use Fiverr on a regular basis with my music production team, so no shade there. But the scammer used an account that they later completely deleted. So everything that I had done with them no longer existed in the system. So I couldn't go back in and report anything because it had all been wiped. So that's the downfall of using Fiverr if you get scammed. But like I said, I love Fiverr, and I would definitely recommend them. And I would also recommend Remitly. Just be careful and make sure that you know who you're sending your money to. So anyway, this is a tangent. Welcome to my ADHD brain. Going back, so I lost almost 900. I gained back 650, and then I reinvested that 650 into correct search engine optimization and fixing my website. I had to completely rebuild. So I hired somebody to do that. And I hired that same company to do marketing for me. And I think that was it so far. So it's expensive. I think I've spent like somewhere around $2,000 total if you factor in what I lost and then what I gained. It's still $650, and then I spent a lot more over that. It's under $2,000, but it's it's enough to be able to say that you definitely need to have at least $2,000 to get started. I was able to barter down the price of some of the things that I had done. And if I had not tried to negotiate a little bit, I definitely would have spent more like $3,000. And there are things that are still in progress, and I'm waiting to see the results of it. But it's been 3 months and I'm only 2 sales in. So I definitely had a minor meltdown this morning, because it's really been a discouraging situation when you factor in all of the people who are telling you that they're successful and that they're doing so much better than you and all this stuff. But you got to recognize that you don't know if that's true. They have their own angle that they're working with, and they're just trying to get a sale from you, with their agent, with their partner. So you really need to have a purpose and a drive to do this, to be in this industry. You have to know who you are and not be a people pleaser, and stand very firm on your boundaries. I am not saying that Shopify is a bad thing to get into by any means. I do like it, and I'm going to stick with it, because I believe that there's good that's going to come out of it. I'm just saying that it's been a very, very frustrating experience, and it would be a lot better if I had come at this with like a business degree or something like that. At least some more research before I committed to all of this. But yeah, it's going to be a different experience for everybody. This is just what happened to me. So I hope that this was helpful, and that you gained some insight if this is something that you want to get into. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day.